I've never seen an attack like this. Why has Malthael unleashed his forces on Westmarch?
Because he feeds on death. Every time his reapers kill, he grows stronger. And with the prime evil gone, Malthael believes this is the perfect time to end the eternal conflict.
Humanity has nothing to do with that war.
I agree.
The church! All the refugees are inside! Follow me! Akarat's bane! This is worse than I feared!
What is it?
A death maiden! Stop her!
Evelyn, your soul.
We must do everything in our power to slow the Nephilim down, so that the collection of souls is not interrupted. It is the key to Malthael's victory.
We must confront Malthael. Where is he?
I know only that he is not in Westmarch. He could have taken the Black Soul Stone anywhere in creation.
There are no other clues?
There may be. A sliver broke off when Malthael took the Soul Stone. Perhaps by studying that sliver, I can learn his plans.
Then you must remain here. I will do what I can for Westmarch. My essence is too low.
Malthael, my brother. He was wisdom, leader of our council, first among angels. And now, he has become this.
How?
After the destruction of the World Stone, Malthael's mood darkened, and he left the heavens frequently. Then he disappeared completely. He must have developed a connection, no, an obsession with human souls.
He was never meant to explore the domain of death. What would Rathmus say if he were here? Any progress?
The sliver is still connected to the Soul Stone. As the stone changes, the sliver will change too. Therefore, I can observe what Malthael is doing to the stone, and if we're lucky, even discover his plan.
So the Horodrim have returned.
Tyrael rebuilt the Order to help him take the Soul Stone from heaven, and to protect mankind. After all, you can't be everywhere at once, no matter how powerful you are.
Westmarch originally grew from the efforts of the great General Rakis to spread his religion beyond the realms of the East. Seized by the superstitions of the Zakarum faith, he drove his paladins relentlessly across the barbaric western lands, subduing the uncivilized tribes he found there. Ultimately, he became king of them all.
My library isn't far from here. I was closing everything up for the day when I heard the fighting in the streets. I barred the doors and then squeezed through the back window to escape. But I'll have to come up with something more exciting when I write my official account, won't I? You've heard the legend of the Tomb of Rakus, haven't you? Its location has never been found. Most scholars think it's underneath Westmarch, but I suspect it's somewhere outside the city. Rakus was a clever man, after all.
At long last, a hero comes to save us. That won't bring my wife back, though, will it?
We stayed to fight, Robert and me, but he fell. And when they started to tear into him, I panicked. I ran.
Many of the survivors here have suffered the same. You should speak to them.
What's that noise?
Is something on your mind?
Yes, actually. I was just remembering what happened in New Tristram after the falling star hit. I've never seen Mira so scared. Leah came by later, telling us there were wounded men at the inn.
And your wife still went to help them.
I know who is responsible for this. It's the poor. They've summoned these monstrosities to take Westmarch for themselves.
Did you know there were once 2 moons? Lyria is the one that is no more. I think it's time I told you the whole story of Zai and his master, the god of desire, Dirges.
I thought it was a secret.
Dirges' jewel has appeared again, and the time for secrets is over.
Then I will finally know the truth.
Have you been eating enough? I've noticed this about you. When things get difficult, you get very focused. Maybe I'll cook for you. So, if it's all the same, we'd probably both be happier if I didn't.
You ask who's to blame for this doom? All of Westmarch, reveling in sin, worshipping petty idols. The Zakarum are gone, and the Order of Malthael now rises. Praise Malthael, and your souls may yet be saved. He spares only the faithful. Donate to the Order and prove your conviction.
It is good to see you again, though it seems like we are only brought together in the worst of circumstances. But I suppose if times were better, we would never have met. For a moment, I heard one of my sister's
That
voices.
sounds like magic.
I could not make out the words.
Or melancholy. I cannot tell which.
My sisters are gone now, and I am the last memory of a world long since forgotten.
There are many who do not forget the dead, Irena. They serve a purpose, as do we. You are ill at ease, Cormac.
For too long have I lived with the knowledge that my order tortures its initiates and twists their minds. I need to know how high this evil reaches. If my whole order is corrupt, what does it mean to be a Templar? What am I?
You are one of many who believed in serving a righteous cause.
But it wasn't, was it? The guilty will answer for their transgressions. I swear it.
I can't believe we're still alive, and it's all thanks to you. I thought we would die in that foul-smelling place.
Did you grab the jewelry at least?
Harold, those monsters were about to kill us.
Well, I would rather be dead than poor.
I found him in the streets. He seemed in a daze, so I brought him here with me, but he's hardly said anything. He's nobility of some sort, but I don't recognize the seal on his ring.
The flames!
The flames? Well, he was covered in soot. Perhaps he escaped from afar. He never says more than a word or two at a time.
Duncraig is just death and horror. I thought I'd be safe here, but we've nowhere left to hide.
Help! You can't even hear me coming.
Someone came for me. After all this time.
The blacksmith heard you down here.
Bloody miracle! Sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I owe you both.
Follow me.
Remember that noise I heard? It was that lad you rescued.
I'm Bryson. I came here to see your friend.
And now he won't go away.
You don't feel responsible for him?
No, I'm responsible for myself. Though I have decided to repay Hadric by helping him.
And I told you to stay away from my forge.
I grew up over by the docks. That's what my parents could afford. They died when the plague swept through a few years ago, within hours of each other, like they had to stay together. I used to hate them for leaving me, but now, it's a relief they didn't have to see all this happen.
All trouble shall pass. What was that Death Maiden doing?
She was creating an orb that turns the living into Malthael's death creatures. A single orb can transform hundreds of innocent people every hour, and my men report 2 more of them out in the city.
Soul crucibles. With 2 of them, Malthael has an endless supply of soldiers.
His magic was not meant to be used so. I will not stand for it. I have read spells about crucibles that could enslave the dead. Now angels are using them.
Sadly, yes.
And the Death Maidens as well.
Their story is as tragic as Malthael's. Once the vanguard of his wisdom angels, they followed him down the path to darkness.
After years of my pleading, the Angiris Council has finally agreed to send me in search of Malthael. I will not fail in this, as my master's presence is sorely needed in the high heavens. Owing to Malthael's growing fascination with the humans, Tyrael has suggested I begin my search on Sanctuary.
You should talk more. There's so many things you don't know about.
Not enough essence.
Let us seek honor together, my friend.
They will run when they see us.
It is good to fight with you again.
Aha! I knew you'd need my help.
archer would have fled as I charged, but this one stood its ground, staring down the arrow's shaft through lifeless, empty eye sockets. Even as I swung my blade to take off its head, the thing loosed another shot. How can we fight an enemy that has no fear, nor thought for its own self-preservation?
Attacks are getting worse. They'll reach the survivors soon.
We've been here for days. These people can't last much longer.
Head to the Survivors' Enclave. You'll find safety there.
Ave Interitus, Insurgos Eristros in situ.
What are you doing?
I'm summoning back the souls that have been stolen from these poor people in order to restore their lives.
You are too ignorant to wield this magic. Now I shall have to make amends.
Wait, what's that noise? This wasn't supposed to happen.
Wretch.
All know the reputation of the exorcists of Westmarch. Those spiritual warriors specialized in removing demonic possession. By custom, they arrive in darkness, clad in cloaks as black as the night that conjured them. They work in secret, extracting the demons that dwell within their subjects. Now, Malthael has turned them, and they roam the city in their inhuman forms, stripping the souls from all they encounter.
Go now, and spare me your foolishness.
Of course. Oh, of course. Bless you, good sir.
We've got to save my friends!
This is all Justinian's fault! Some king he is!
King Justinian must have fled the city by now. It's time for the people to rise up!
I encountered the most troublesome bats in the caves outside Westmarch. My companions and I had sheltered there with the intent of organizing my many records, when the miserable creatures appeared and tore several of the scrolls to pieces. Truly, the world shall be a poorer place for this lost wisdom.
This world can abide you no longer!
Thanks for helping, but this isn't over. The king has failed us all. If you don't believe me, read this. His private journal.
How did you come by this?
Well, let's just say it's from someone who cares about us common folk.
I'm so weary. Why did you have to... They will abandon me if I don't keep the peasants in their place. Oh, my position is hopeless.
That needs to recharge.
Malthael's disappointment, the Angiras Council appointed his most loyal servant, Urzael, to find him and bring him back to the high heavens. Urzael, accompanied by the sect of maidens who were Malthael's closest followers, set out to find their absent master. They never returned.
Reapers did not kill them. Who did? More corpses. Death to the nobles! Just what are you doing? Revolution! It's time for our oppressors to fall. The king is in the city, but we have a trap waiting for him. Too many have already perished. Lay down your arms. What? You're not with us? Then die with our enemies!
Lord Winton, we are thrilled that you have located a surviving regiment of soldiers. With this new force, we can turn the tide and save our city. Your disagreements with the crown are well known, but we are glad you can put them aside in this dangerous time. Long live Westmarch!
pestilence in Westmarch killed both humans and beasts alike. The panicked survivors then threw the corpses of both into the plague tunnels. Now the Reaper's presence has revived many of those interred there, with the bones of beasts rising again as skeletal crawlers, driven to kill the living.
This world can abide you no longer! That needs to recharge. All must serve the cycle. That needs to recharge.
Phantasms are unlike any spirits I have seen on Sanctuary. They bear a resemblance to lesser demons, but the souls of demons are always reborn in the hells. I suspect the phantasms may be the remnants of some early Nephilim, those born more demon than angel.
This world can abide you no longer! Weakness consumes you!
The repository of bones, commonly called the plague tunnels, were originally used to bury Westmarch's indigent. However, when the Great Pestilence struck, the city decided the tunnels would serve just as well for plague victims, lest Westmarch become overwhelmed by the ever-increasing piles of the dead.
What a variety of corpses.
Seen enough of death by now? It isn't enough boys to fill those releases already.
The night embraces you.
death will consume all. Rise! Rise!
Some of my men are pinned down in the courtyard, fighting revenants. Please help me rescue them.
Find Malthael on Sanctuary, but I did find humans. Far too many of them. They murder and cheat one another while allowing their brothers to starve. If their true power is ever released, we are all doomed. They have a choice between good and evil, and they overwhelmingly choose evil.
Not enough essence. Maiden is using the crucible.
You're right about that.
Call the darkness down upon yourself, mortal.
Thank you. I knew you would arrive in time to save me.
Did you?
I am Miriam Jazia, a seer of the Vetchin people. I foresaw our meeting, but I did not see this horror. I have come to help you.
There is one crucible left, and if you destroy that, the maidens will not be able to create more. There is no time to waste. We must be on our way now. Malthael, he's watching you.
I grew disgusted by humanity during my time on Sanctuary. When at last I found Malthael, I was not surprised to learn that he felt the same way. We will cleanse creation of the scourge that is humankind, and when we are finished, the tragic mistake of Anarius will be gone.
You should join the rest of the survivors.
Nonsense. You'll protect me. And after experiencing what those things do to people, let's just say I need to see you destroy the final crucible with my own eyes if I am ever to sleep again.
On me before I knew it. The mass of its bloated flesh soundless as it floated above the ground.
I must
when
wait.
I finally noticed it, I could not move. It was as though I was trapped in a waking nightmare. I looked down and saw tendrils of energy wrapped around my feet and realized it was not fear that held me, but the Seraph's magic.
Please, a monstrosity. I see you have much guilt over Leah's fate.
How do you know my name?
I see the past as well as the future. You must not let it consume you. Thank you, hero. We can all rest now.
To the balance here.
Be so down. You have much to be joyful about.
I do not revel in joy as others do.
I have learned that in terrible situations it is better to laugh than to cry. Perhaps when you are as much as I will understand.
Needs to recharge. Let's say you can see the future. Does this battle have an end?
Of course it will end, and you will live a long and happy life.
Why don't I believe that?
Because I was not being entirely truthful. That, and you are so careless that you'll never believe you can be happy and content. I must say, it is wonderful to finally meet, though you are skinnier than my visions led me to expect. You just don't take care of yourself. It's always about saving the world first, isn't it?
I've never seen you.
You did a fine corpse. I must wait. Weakness consumes you! I must wait.